I know the influence, I know the impact, and I know the vibes. And the girlies love the vibes.
Hi, I'm Loa Baby, and I'm here to address the rumors. I crocheted a halter top over a year ago. People asked me for a tutorial. I said I would make a tutorial, and then I didn't make a tutorial. You got me. I said I was going to make a tutorial, and I should have made a tutorial, but I never said when. I never said when. Okay, we don't need to engage too much in the technicalities, but I did get caught up in the many other crochet projects I fell in love with, and that is the reason why I have not put out a tutorial. Your minds are going to be so blown when I show you how I make this top because it's actually so simple. This mix is only like 38 minutes long, but I feel like I could probably get this halter top tutorial done within the next hour. Things that you will need: a 15mm crochet hook. I'm going to be using a weight for acrylic yarn to show you how I make this top, but to like make the original top, I use this yarn from Yarn Bee. It's called Through Thick and Thin. I'm also going to be using at least 7 stitch markers. So I'm going to start off how I'd regularly make a granny square with a slip knot. Now I'm going to chain 7. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain to make a loop. Alright, so now that I have my loop, I'm going to chain 2 and double crochet into the loop. Then I'm going to do a second double crochet. And then chain 1. So after my chain 1, I'm going to double crochet 3 more times. And then chain 1. So I'm going to mark each chain 1 space just so I can keep track of the number of corners I have. So this is 1, this is going to be 2. I'm going to double crochet 3 again. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2, this is the third corner I just made with this chain 1. I'm going to repeat this 4 more times, so I have a total of 7 corners. After this chain 1, double crochet 3. Okay, so I've repeated that double crochet 3 4 more times. This is my final chain 1. And now I'm just going to slip stitch into this chain 2 from the start. And then I'm going to mark my 7th corner. So I think it's really important to use stitch markers because I'm working with a bigger hook and the yarn is a smaller weight. There's a lot of spaces, so you could easily get confused where exactly your hook is going to go into. It looks spacey now, but it would look even more confusing if I was using the regular yarn that I use for it. So this is round 1, so we're going to work on round 2 now. So now I'm going to chain 2 again. And in this first chain 1 space, I'm going to double crochet 2. It can be a little tricky working with a bigger hook and a smaller weight yarn, but you just have to make sure to keep your tension not too tight, but firm. So like the yarn isn't just slipping away from you. So this is half of a corner. I'm going to shift this. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1 now. and place 3 double crochet into this next corner space. Now for round 2, in each corner I'm going to double crochet 3, chain 2, and double crochet 3 into that same space. This round we're actually making the corner, so this is officially a completed corner. This is corner 1. I'm going to shift my stitch marker up so I can keep track of the corners that I'm making. So this is half of 1. This is the second corner. Now we're on to corner 3. I'm going to repeat the double crochet 3, chain 2, double crochet 3 in the same space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. Okay, so I've completed 5 more corners and this is what my piece looks like now. I'm back to this first stitch marker and I said this was half of a corner, so now we're going to complete this corner. I've chained 1 and I'm just going to place 3 double crochet into this half a corner space. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to chain 2 and then just end my work with a slip stitch into the chain 2 again. For round 3, I'm going to be repeating the same thing in the corner spaces, which is double crochet 3, chain 2, and then double crochet another 3 into that same space. And then in the chain 1 spaces in between each corner, I'm just going to double crochet 3 and then chain 1 and move on. So this is what that looks like. Starting with the first corner, it's always going to be a chain 2 and 2 double crochet to start the half corner. I'm going to use my stitch marker to keep track. Alright, so I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to place 3 double crochet in this middle space. It's not a corner, it's just a middle space. I'm going to chain 1 and now I'm at a corner space, so I'm going to double crochet 3, chain 2, and then double crochet 3 again. I'm going to repeat the same sequence 5 more times until I'm back to my first stitch marker. So I'm back to my first stitch marker again. I've chained 1 and I'm going to double crochet 3 into that first corner to end it. Chain 2 and then slip stitch into this chain 2 from the start. So hopefully you get the gist now of how I'm building these rounds. You're going to notice there's a second middle space here. So I'm going to chain 1 and double crochet 3 again in this middle space. And then when I get to this first corner, I'm going to chain 1, double crochet 3, chain 2, and then double crochet 3 again into the same space. And then repeat that same sequence: double crochet 3, double crochet 3, double crochet 3, chain 2, double crochet 3, all the way around for row 4. So I just completed round 5. This is what it looks like. I'm going to keep repeating the same pattern for 2 more rounds. For round 6, there's going to still be 7 corner spaces, but there's going to be 1, 2, 3 middle spaces. And then for the final round, round 7, there's still going to be 7 corner spaces, but there's going to be 4 middle spaces. Also, this mix is eating. She's eating, okay? I wish I could have this as like my actual background music. Like I want this entire mix to be my background music, but you know, copyright. I'm going to finish these last 2 rounds and then I'll see you after I finish round 7. So I have officially completed 7 rounds and the mix is actually over. So this is taking longer than an hour. I think this is maybe like, I would give this like an hour and a half long project. That's what this is. This is the shape that I have. It's essentially a really big star. These are the only 4 corners that matter now. These other corners don't really matter. So I'm going to make like the altar, what do you call the tie part that goes around the neck? I don't know what the name for that is. But this is where I'm going to start continuing with my working yarn. I'm going to go into this corner. I'm going to continue working in this same corner. I'm just going to chain 2. And now I'm going to place 3 half double crochet in this middle space right next to the corner. So this was the corner space, this was the chain 2, and this is my 3 double crochet. And I'm going to mark this chain 2 space. Okay, so this counts as 1. I'm going to repeat this 13 more times for a total of 14 rows. So I'm going to chain 2, turn my work, and double crochet 3 into this chain 2 space. That's 2. I chain 2 again, and double crochet 3. And that's 3, and you can see it's forming this like tie string. Yeah, so this is 3. I'm going to repeat this 10 more times. After my last double crochet, I just pull in my work, cut, and that's it. Now it's important to pay attention. There still is a front and back. So wherever this piece that you tucked in from the start is, this is the back or like the inside. I'm going to make another tie here. I'm going to start by making a slip knot. And inserting it into this corner. I use a slip stitch to attach it here. I'm going to chain 2 and then double crochet 3 in this space next to it. This counts as 1. Take one of these. I'm going to use one of these stitch markers to mark the chain 2 space so I know this is where I started. Alright, so I'm going to chain 2, turn my work, and double crochet 3. So I'm going to repeat this 12 more times for a total of 14 rows. Now after that, I now have 2 halter ties, 2 neck ties. So I'm going to repeat the same thing. I'm going to insert a slip knot into each of these 2 corners, and I'm going to chain 2 and then double crochet 3 right in the space next to it, and then chain 2 again and go back and forth until I have a count of 12 this time. Now I'm going to repeat the same step on the other side. So this was the corner that I worked into, and I worked into the space right to the left of it, not to the right. So I'm going to make sure to repeat the same step to the left of the corner. Okay, so now I just finished the final corner. If you have a mannequin, it might be best to do this on a mannequin so you can see what you're doing better and you don't get confused. But if you don't have a mannequin, it's also very possible to just make this top on its own. I'm going to throw this on a mannequin now so I can tuck in my ends in quotes, because there's nowhere really to tuck in the ends in this piece because it's so loose. So I'm actually just going to like hot glue the pieces down. Now that I'm done tucking in my ends, I'm going to flip my work right side out. I make sure to like hot glue on the inside of the piece, so even if like anything's sticking out, you wouldn't see it. So this is the right side. You know, the halter just ties in the back. And then it also ties the lower waist. This is what she looks like. So obviously it being acrylic yarn, it looks like a little different than the original. That what's called through thick and thin yarn obviously gives it like more of a texture, makes it look more flowy, like boho. This just looks like a mesh top. This yarn makes it look like more elevated. But this is essentially it. It's literally so simple. I can't believe it took me this long to make a tutorial. I'm sorry. This is what the back looks like, by the way. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like, and you can turn on post notifications so you know the next time that I'm going to post. It might be another tutorial that I promised. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.